Expedition 33. This is a game that I have never experienced before in my life. A world full of magic, mystery, and beauty. From the opening cutscene, I was already enthralled by the art and the beauty of the world. After the tutorial fight, I was already hooked on the fiery and flashy combat. And then, by the end of the prologue, I was completely swept away by the game's story. By the end of the game, I was both in tears and giving a standing ovation, as I genuinely have never played a game as good as this, and I probably won't again for quite some time. This game is a masterpiece, and I honestly thank the developers for giving me such an incredible game to play. So let's ruin it, baby! Now, I've already played through this game once on stream, twitch.tv/thegamingathlete with a 1 for the L, and through New Game Plus on expert difficulty. I've done everything that there is to do in the game. I've reached level 99 on everyone, I've beaten all of the bosses, including the super bosses, I've 100%ed the game, so this time around, I wanted to do a little bit of a challenge and bring you all along for the journey. In today's video, we are attempting the Expedition 33 Solo Challenge, because that clearly hasn't been done before. Now, there are a lot of people who have done a challenge like this, and of course, no shade to any of them. A lot of the videos that I saw scrolling through YouTube, I've seen what you'd expect. Mael, Verso, a couple of CLs of Minoko scattered in there. But I think the person I've seen the least amount for a challenge like this is Lune. Now, I get it. I think the pretty common consensus is that Lune is the weakest of the cast, maybe right there next to CL. But I believe that with correct tools and enough motivation, we can make her an unstoppable powerhouse. And so, for this solo challenge, we will be using Lune as our solo character for the run. So, let's create a new game, slap on expert difficulty, and get started. Let's go. We begin our journey in the beautiful city of Lumiere, where we see Gustav on top of a roof throwing stones at the paintress. And look at the fit that he's wearing. Man, I'm sure nothing terrible and tragic is going to happen to him during this playthrough. After throwing a couple of rocks, Mael shows up. They have a little chit-chat about the expedition, the paintress, and then Gustav gives us a little bit of wisdom.
I'm enjoying the uselessness of today and readying my usefulness for tomorrow.
They then bring Gustav's ex up, Sophie, who's having her gomage today, along with many others in the city of Lumiere, where he asks a literal teenager for relationship advice.
You're asking me? I don't know. Sun's about to set, so be direct.
We grab Sophie's flower and we start to get a move on, where we see that Mael is a descendant of Sonic, apparently, because goddamn, she is zooming. What the hell? We follow her across a couple of rooftops and go through the tutorial fight, where we learn the attacks and use a fully charged electrical arm to murder a literal child.
See ya, Mael. Come off.
After our duel, we descend from the rooftops and talk to Sophie during an extremely awkward conversation.
You know, I'm sorry that I miss you
need
too.
to. Okay.
You go.
You.
You know how I feel.
So
I wish
awkward.
things had been,
We walk around town a little bit, get to the town square, chat with some folks, and make our way to the harbor where the gomage is going to be taking place. On the way, we see our soon-to-be champion, Lune, sitting on top of a stage, playing her guitar with every single one of her dogs out on that dirty-ass stage. There she is. Our future champion of the expedition. Dogs out and everything. We continue our walk, talk to more of the locals, some more entertaining than others, do a couple side quests, grab some goodies, beat up a mime, and we make our way to the harbor. And, yeah.
I'm here.
Oh my god, is that line every single time, dude? Keep in mind, this is my third playthrough of this game, and this scene still gets me, bro. Fuck. Anyways, after being subjugated to immense emotional damage, we make our way to the festival where we chat with some of our fellow expeditioners, have a few drinks, grab our journal from our apprentices, partake in a pop quiz, and speak with Mael, where we get to fight her again, where we, again, wreck her shit. This just in, Mael found shot dead in Chicago. After beating Mael again, we then see Gustav's sister come in. We spend our festival tokens to buy a broken Pictos, a ugly ass haircut, and a key. We head over and talk to our sister, chat her up. She wants us to stay, but of course, we're not staying. That fuck ass paintress killed our girlfriend, okay? That's more than enough motivation to set sail for the continent. Hey there, kiddos. You want to see my rendition of D-Day? What? Fall back! We make it to the beach and then immediately get jumped by this old man where like 95% of our squad dies, and then Gustav gets smacked and blackout. We wake up at the bottom of a waterfall in the middle of some valley where Gustav, heart attack, which, you know, considering that he just watched every single one of his friends die is understandable. We walk down the path a little bit and we get into our first real fight. And win. We continue down the path, seeing a lot of dead bodies of past expeditioners. Gustav takes a seat and, let's just say comes close to leaving the game early.
You do that, we both die.
There she is, baby. Coming in for the rescue. That's my girl. Our champion. The queen is here to save the day. Our champion talks some sense into Gustav before another Neveron shows up, and this is where we run into our first fight with Lune, as well as our first obstacle of this challenge.
You're not supposed to be here.
The game forces us to have Gustav in this fight with us. My first thought was reloading the game and turning off tutorials, but that unfortunately didn't work either. So I did the next best thing, which was only play as Lune, which meant I would skip every Gustav's turn, as well as essentially have Gustav be a meat shield, not dodging, not parrying anything, just doing absolutely nothing with Gustav at all. Thankfully, the enemy didn't pull out any of his team-wide moves, because then Lune would have to get hit. But thanks to Gustav being a target for us, we were able to use Lune and defeat the Nevron, winning our first battle with our champion and getting an almost completely useless Plictos in the process. Now that we actually have Lune in our team, I think now will be a good time to kind of go over how she works as a character in combat, just in case those watching maybe haven't played Expedition 33, which if you haven't, I totally recommend you do. Each character in Expedition 33 has their own unique gimmick in combat. Lune's gimmick? Her stains. Whenever she uses an ability, she will generate stains. There are 6 different kinds of stains that Lune can generate: fire, ice, earth, lightning, light, and dark stains. Now, dark stains are more rare and are really only available with specific weapons, so let's just focus on these 5 for now. Lune can carry up to 4 stains at any given time. She can then use those stored stains when casting abilities to upgrade and gain additional benefits, given that she has the corresponding stains that meet the requirement, with light stains being able to be used as a substitute for the other 4 stains if needed. From having the ability to increase damage, making the ability cost less ability points, or straight up giving her another turn. So it's best to utilize those stains to get the most out of her abilities, and thus the most out of her. After winning our first duel with Lune, we quickly remove Gustav from the party, so that every future fight is just Lune. We then exit this little cave and reach our first expedition flag, where we can upgrade our attributes. We fight through a couple more enemies, gathering loot in the process, like a Pictos that is actually useful. And then the world opens up to us, welcoming us with its immaculate beauty as we enter the main portion of the continent. Dude, this game is so freaking beautiful. Oh my god. We then take a detour pathway to fight some more enemies and give Lune a little bit more of some early game strength. And this is where I make my first big mistake of this playthrough by deciding to fight this mime. You see, for those who haven't played this game or are unaware, the mime's whole gimmick is at the start of the fight, they will protect themselves, giving them a huge boost in defense. And the only way to bypass that defense is to fill up their break meter below their health bar and use something that can then break the enemy and stun them. Essentially, if a skill has the keywords can break, those abilities can then break the enemy. The mistake that I made when challenging this guy was at the time that I challenged him, I didn't have any skills or any other ways to break him with Lune, meaning that I couldn't get past his increased defense. So I was left with only doing like single-digit damage. Now, I could have done the smart decision and just leave, grind some more levels, give her a break spell, but I decided not to. Why? Because Mama didn't raise a bitch. I ended up just spamming this dude with my immolation skill to stack burn on him to get some more damage over time, while I constantly parried and countered his 2 only attack patterns. And then, after a grueling 9 minutes, I finally beat him. Yes! Oh my god! I did it! Holy shit. Oh my god, that was almost 10 minutes, dude. Was it pointless? Probably. Was it worth it? No, not at all. After that whole ordeal, we continue our path through the Spring Meadows and take down this chromatic Lancier, which took a few tries. And in doing so, we obtain a pretty useful Pictos. After continuing down the path, fighting some more enemies, helping this peaceful Nevron light up his little lampstick thing, and kill a few more enemies, we then make it to the Indigo Tree, where, hey! It's one of the survivors we found! Look at that! A new teammate! Oh!
Fuck. It's big.
That's what she said.
And now it is time to face off against our first real boss fight. The Evek. Things started off pretty well for Lune during this boss fight. Thankfully, the Evek's attacks were pretty well choreographed, so I was able to chain a fair number of counters before getting hit once. And we were making pretty good progress. It was at this point that I still did not possess any sort of skills to break the Evek when I filled up the break meter, so I couldn't take advantage of stunning him. The only real trouble I ran into with this boss was when he built up a shit ton of shields after getting to about a quarter of his health. But thanks to Lune's Thunderfall ability, I was able to break away almost all of it at once. After that hurdle, we just kept wailing on him, burning him, countering him, accidentally healing him with earth damage, and with one last smack, we finally defeated him. And we hit him with our finisher. Lune boosts up Gustav, where he proceeds to style on him for the kill, pose for the aura farm, and that's a wallpaper. After defeating the boss, we climb up the Indigo Tree, where there is nothing but a note saying that Mael had been taken to some kind of shack in the middle of some, quote, weird corals. Gustav wants to go after her. Lune wants to follow protocol. After a bit of bickering, they end up going after Mael. We leave the meadows into the open world area and head to camp before entering the Flying Waters. Nothing too noteworthy really happens back at camp. Lune and Gustav just bicker with each other some more, and now we just head on to the next area of these weird corals. SeaWorld on crack. I'll spare you the details, but as you could probably guess, most of these areas are just going to involve me running around, killing enemies to farm up Lune, grabbing materials before heading to the next story beat. So that's gonna be happening a lot, so I'll just summarize it for you as to not bore you guys. We traverse through the Flying Waters until we make it to the shed and get pulled in through some magic door. The door transports us to the manor, where I use my knowledge of previous playthroughs to first grab this shape of life hidden behind a painting that has no indication or hint that there is a secret hiding behind it. Anyways, we then head over and we find Mael. Yay, she's safe. Oh, and she made a new friend too. Look at that, he looks not hostile, at least. After officially adding Mael to the party, we quickly remove her from the party, as Lune's the one taking care of business here, alright? Before we leave, we level up Lune a bit more, and we teach her the skill Rock Slide. A fairly strong skill, especially when cast into its upgraded version, and it's a skill that we can use to actually break enemy stances. And before we leave, we have to fight the Curator. Now, again, not gonna spare you the details, this fight was piss easy, because this fight is meant to be the tutorial fight for jump counterattacks, and so the Curator's only attack that he does during this is jump attacks, so it was a real easy fight. We leave the mansion to meet our good pal, Noko. He tells us that we need to cross another ocean to get to the Paintress and to go to his gestural village to help. So we first fight Noko to buy out his shop, continue mowing through the local wildlife of this area, including a round 2 of an old friend. I have something that can break you now, bitch! So that was fun. We also fought the Burjine, I do not think I'm saying that correctly, while we were here, and yeah. We make it to the end of the Flying Waters, where we encounter our next boss fight, the Goblu? Whatever the hell his name is. All I know is that this dude's got a banger soundtrack. Anyway, the main gimmick with this fight is that the Goblu, however the fuck you say his name, will summon flowers where we have to shoot them, or else he will absorb said flowers and give himself both shields and a damage buff. Now, I could manage this with just one character early on with only 4 flowers to shoot, but then when he starts to summon like 12, that became a problem. I simply could not keep up with it as I was forced to let him absorb it, which definitely cost me a couple of attempts. A couple heartbreaking attempts.
Lightning strike!
Oh my god, dude. Are you fucking kidding me? I'm gonna lose my mind, bro. But you know what they say about doing the same thing expecting a different result? And that is that it will happen eventually, baby. Get fucked. After defeating the Goblu, we leave the waters and head back to camp where Gustav and Mael have a little heart-to-heart or whatever. More importantly, the Curator is here, and so now things are going to get really silly. Because now we can upgrade our weapons and Lumina capacities and other resources. And it was at this moment that I realized one advantage that I had during this challenge. An advantage that I couldn't use in my previous playthroughs. Previously, I had to worry about the other members in my party. You know, making sure that they've got equal fights to keep the team on level, distributing my colors of Lumina among all of them, as well as my weapon resources to upgrade everyone's weapons so that they can all hit hard. But here, I don't have to worry about that. Lune is gonna be the one taking all the fights. She's gonna be the one taking all the Lumina colors. She's gonna be taking all the weapon upgrades, which means she's going to be scaling much faster than previously, which I feel is going to give us a bit of an edge. After our night at camp, we're back on the continent where we fight some more dudes, help a little dude become not so little dude, and as we approach the ancient sanctuary, we make a hard left and head west to a location to gather items that are going to be essential for this playthrough. And that location is none other than the Hidden Gestural Arena. In this arena, we get to fight solo against a choice of 4 opponents, each opponent giving us a reward. Our first opponent was Mateo the Colossus, and after we made quick work of him, we got the first piece of our build, Last Stand Critical. This Pictos gives us a 100% crit chance when fighting alone. And well, we're always going to be fighting alone, so it's extremely useful. Next up was Bertrand Big Hands. After getting this new Pictos, our power skyrocketed. Not only that, but having 100% critical chance extremely boosts our skills like Thunderfall, where each strike of lightning strikes an additional time on critical hits. Meaning that not only do we get the increased damage from the crit itself, but we also hit our opponent theoretically twice as much with this skill for huge damage. After defeating Bertrand, which I totally did on my first try, we got our next solo Pictos, Accelerating Last Stand. It gives us Rush when we're fighting alone. Before we fought our next opponent, I grabbed Mayhem from Lune's skill tree, another form of break that can replace Rock Slide. Next up was Dominique Giant Feet. After first trying him, we got Protecting Last Stand, giving us Shell when we're fighting alone. And lastly, we had Julian Tiny Head, with Julian being the strongest of the four. This was definitely a long and drawn out fight, but in the end I came out victorious and got the last solo Pictos, Powerful Last Stand, giving us the powerful buff when fighting alone, which will allow us to deal more damage. On top of that, since we defeated all four of these Gestural Warriors, we got this solo Pictos to boost our strength. Solo Fighter, straight up just giving us 50% increased damage when fighting alone. After that little detour, we took on the Chromatic Ruler to test out our new strength, and boy did it not disappoint. After our little side quest, now we enter the Ancient Sanctuary. Upon entering, we level up Lune and gain the first essential piece to make Lune an absolute machine. Elemental Trick. Now, this skill on its own doesn't really do much, but don't you worry. Let's just say it's a surprise mouse tool that'll help us later. Anyways, we kill a Patank and get a move on, and oop, we're getting jumped by Gestrals. Anyways, we move along, killing more Gestrals, grabbing a shiny new weapon for Lune, and make it to the Gestral village. Of course, not before killing the ultimate Sakapatate. Once we make it to the village, we explore a bit, shop around, meet one of the coolest characters in the entire game, and you cannot tell me otherwise, as well as head over to the Gestral Casino, where, after being pressured into gambling, we get another very powerful Pictos, Roulette. Roulette gives each hit a 50% chance to do either 50% damage or a whopping 200% damage. So, gambling, essentially. After that, we head to the house and talk with the village chief, chef, Golgra, in which she tells us we need to compete in her tournament of combat to tell us the password to get to Eskie, who can help us cross the ocean. So we head down and set Lune up for the challenge. After flawlessly fighting through their warriors, we get to fight our last opponent. My wife. I mean CL. Who, by the way, one of the coldest intros in this game. Oh, we destroy her, by the way, too.
Prepare to meet your end.
We win the tournament and get a special weapon for Lune for doing so. It's literally just a one level upgrade of the weapon we already grabbed, so it wasn't really that much of a prize. Anyways, after getting the password from Golgro, we head east toward Eskie's nest. But first, once again, we rest up at camp, we upgrade Lune's weapons and Lumina's. Mael gets frozen in time, where we see a masked girl who strangely looks like Mael, as well as the white-haired man. He speaks some gibberish, yada yada. Let's move on. To Eskie's nest we go. We give the password.
Get out of my way!
And enter his home, which looks absolutely beautiful. I mean, the colors are just immaculate. Just such huge vibes. Is that a fucking mime? We then also make another detour to fight another Patank, and we're a little strong now. And this, chat, is why Roulette is goated. We walk the steps and meet the legendary Eskia, who says he'll help us cross the ocean if we get him his rock, Flory, from his most powerful arch nemesis.
But Flory was stolen by my arch nemesis, the one whose every step shakes the foundation of the world, the one known as Francois.
So we mosey on over to Francois' cave, and he's not too happy to see us, which leads to probably one of the funniest scenes in the entire game.
Humans! Well, over my dead body! Rah!
And we were able to handle this fight with no problem. Okay, that was just a warm-up. Now, this fight will be easy. Okay, third time's the charm.
Oh my god, the damage!
We give the rock to Eskia, only to find out it's not actually Flory, and she's over at the Stonewave Cliffs. On our way out, we get a very helpful Pictos, Energizing Start the Third, giving us an extra AP at the start of the battle. And after doing some exploring with Eskia, we even found Energizing Start the First to give us another AP at the start of battle. Very, very nice. Before we head to the cliffs, I wanted to detour and do some gathering/farming at the Yellow Harvest. There isn't any story beats here. This was literally just for farming Lune's power, grabbing some helpful items and resources, so we'll just fast forward this. Most notable thing we got was the Auto Death and Death Bomb Pictos combo, which, now, while it is unironically one of the strongest combos in the game, we are only one person during this playthrough, so I don't think making Lune into a kamikaze pilot is a good idea. Oh, but we also grabbed the Teamwork Pictos to give us some slightly more damage. We also took on the boss fight here, which took a couple tries, and thankfully the final video that you're watching here came out smooth, because during this boss fight, my frame rate was not happy here. We also took on the Chromatic Orphelin, which gave us a pretty strong weapon for Lune, the Kralim, which basically gives us increasingly more damage to our skills, so long as we use skills of differing elements. After that, we pieced out of here and made our way to the Stonewave Cliffs. On our way to the cliffs, we fought another Bergwan, so we could grab the Healing Parry Pictos. Very, very useful Pictos there. We then head back to camp to check up on Mael. Gustav drops some more wisdom on us, and we then head to sleep. The masked girl returns during our sleep and delivers a very cryptic but very poetic monologue.
I envy them. Those who can't see. Those who know not that they are not. And those who live, blithe and free, sins forgotten, and thus absolved, a fresh dawn in their playground, while we live in shadows, swimming in ink.
We get to the cliffs, Eskia catches a body, and you know the rest. Run around, kill things, grab some wait, first strike, that's actually pretty good. Anyways, we continue through the cliffs, destroying the local wildlife and farm its resources. We give a Nevron some shiny rocks, and then it was time for our next big boss fight at the end of the cliffs, the Lamp Master. I started the fight by stacking some burn on him and popping a few of his lamps. I then utilized my weapon's ability of increasing damage when I use unique elemental skills, so I used my Ice Lance to charge up a powerful Thunderfall next turn, and it worked beautifully.
Lightning, strike!
We beat his ass off a cliff only for it to resurface. Time for phase 2. The Landmaster got a few turns before me, but with some parries and counterattacks, we chipped him down and maxed out his break meter, allowing me to use my 4 stains to stun him with Mayhem. Thanks to the Roulette Pictos, we also did some huge damage in the process. After stunning him, we finished him off with another Thunderfall, and that was another boss fight down. After defeating the Lamp Master and finding Flori, the gang gets ready to set sail while Mael and Gustav decide to throw another rock, until...
Well, you know, like I always say, it's not about the rock. It's more about...
Gustav.
Run.
Now, this fight doesn't count towards our challenge as I'm forced to play as Gustav, and I mean, it's technically still a solo fight. We try our best to fight the white-haired man, but even after an overcharge so strong that it broke Gustav's arm off, it wasn't enough. And, well...
For those who come after. Right?
No. You promised!
Before the man could also take Mael, she gets rescued by some stranger who apparently knows this old guy, and the rest of our team is able to escape.
So that's it. You set us down this path. But are you ready for the consequences?
She'll never paint again.
So after getting my heart ripped out, again, back at camp, Mael is reasonably depressed. Lune and Ciel are not helping the lesbian allegations, and this stranger comes to our camp. He tells us that he is a member of the very first expedition, Expedition Zero, and that he, as well as the white-haired man who we learn is Renoir, their commander, are pretty much immortal and have stopped aging, and that killing the Paintress will also kill him. We go to sleep with our next area to go to up north after upgrading Lumina's and weapons again. Before we headed north, I decided to do some side stuff to boost Lune some more. I'll fast forward it for you guys and tell you the most important thing that we got from this little side tangent. After defeating the Chromatic Jar, which took a couple tries,
Let's keep going.
we got Lune to a high enough level to grab the final piece of Lune's build, Elemental Genesis. This ability does extreme elemental damage for 8 hits to all enemies for the low cost of 4 AP. But it requires all 4 elemental stains in order to cast, or some combination of them with light stains. But if you remember, we have Elemental Trick, which deals damage in those 4 elements, where landing a critical hit will generate a stain of the corresponding element. And if you remember again, we have a perk that gives us a 100% crit chance. Do you see where this is going? Basically, all we gotta do is pop Elemental Genesis, our 100% crit chance will generate the 4 stains needed, and then we can just pop Elemental Genesis literally the next turn. And the results are fucking amazing.
Let's fucking go, dude. I just soloed the fucking sapling. Elemental Genesis for the win, dude. That's crazy. That is crazy. We did like 60 mil in like one turn. Or not 60 mil. We did like 60,000 in one turn. Absolutely wild.
Oh, and don't worry, this isn't even the only thing that we can do with Elemental Trick, but that will come later. We continue doing some more side content using Lune's newfound power to literally mow through everything in sight to get some more XP for her. We killed the Chromatic Hexga, got some useless Pictos, and then we finally made our way to the next area, the Forgotten Battlefield. Our team makes it to the shore of this place where Mael wants to bury Gustav's arm. Verso tells her there's a tree in an open pasture where we can do so, and this is where we enter into a pretty awkward spot. Now, this battle is meant to be the tutorial fight for the gradient counters. Only issue is, the game, once again, forces us in actual team to do this fight. Luckily, Lune is a part of this team. So, just like we did at the very beginning of this run, we just skip all of our allies' turns, watch them get murdered, and then we're fine.
Let me show you something.
We venture forth through the battlefield, walking through loads of bodies of past expeditions, as well as enemies because Lune's power is stupid. We grabbed some more very useful Pictos, beat up a merchant with a loving family, and make it to the bridge. While on the bridge, Mael has what I would say is a pretty valid crash out, seeing so much death, including her brother/father figure as a literal child. But before we could do much more, we get jumped by this big boy. We fall down this canyon that Mael somehow survives. The camera then pans over to Verso, who is just straight up aura farming, and that's another wallpaper. Lune heals Mael's injuries, and then the gang gets up, ready to take on Relana. Shit, no, fuck, I mean the Dueliste. And as climactic and epic this fight was the first time I played it,
Much potential.
and that's phase 1. Well, you know, surely phase 2 will be more of a challenge. So we may be a bit too strong. Anyways, after all that, we climb out of the hole and make our way to the pasture to lay Gustav to rest, and we gave some parting words.
Couldn't wait for me, could you? I wish we could.
Rest easy, Gustav.
I'll finish what you started. The Paintress, Renoir, they will pay.
No more dome. Just open skies.
I'll save them, Gustav. Emma, your apprentices, everyone.
You can leave it to us. You were always there for me.
I'll save them.
say hi to Soph for me, yeah?
We could never tell if you were my brother or my father. But to me, you were both. Best brother and father I've ever had.
Oh, dude.
When one falls, we continue.
Oh my god, man.
For being my family.
Oh, fuck, dude.
See you in the next life.
Dude, this game needs to pay for my fucking therapy that I'm going to be needing after this. Back at camp, we review our next steps, which are to head to Monoko Station to recruit Verso's friend Monoko, and then head towards Old Lumiere. We run through the usual stuff at camp, boosting Lune's weapon and Lumina's, talk to our party, and be on our way. On the way to Monoko Station, we do some side content, including taking on this fucker, whose attacks get longer and longer and longer until at some point he just fucking explodes. As tedious as it was, we got a pretty good pick dose out of it, which I guess is worth it. We then get our asses handed to us by the Frostovec, and I decide to come back at a later time, and we just head on over to Monoko Station. We meet up with Monoko, who asks us for a duel, and let me tell you, this man has the grooviest OST in this entire game. And then we killed him. We then head out to fight a Stalact as the tutorial fight for gradient attacks. Thankfully, it kept Lune as our solo fighter, so we were just able to breeze through that nice and quick. And just like that, Monoko joins the squad. I can't wait to not use him. Now that we have Monoko, we head toward Old Lumiere. We, of course, do some side content, and by doing so, Lune reached a high enough level for us to grab her Lightning Dance skill. It deals very high lightning damage that does very increased damage by consuming an Earth, Fire, and Ice stain, which is good because those are stains that we can easily acquire thanks to our Elemental Trick skill. And with the added bonus of our 100% crit rate, each of our 6 hits triggers an additional time for a total of 12 hits, which, crazy enough, becomes a higher damage output than Elemental Genesis. And now that we had a much more powerful skill in our arsenal... Ha! You thought you forgot about me? I'm here to run it back, bitch! Anyways, Old Lumiere. We walk around till we hit a wall where Monoko breaks it down, only to separate our team in the process. Thankfully, this team has Lune in it, so we just remove CL Monoko, and we move on with our playthrough. A few ravaged locals later, and we make it to the corpse of a massive creature known as an Axon. We find a journal entry from Expedition 58, and learn some sort of bad information, and we are now on the lookout for Verso and Mael. Which brings us to a problem in the game. Playing the other half of our split up party, Verso and Mael, as in no Lune. Seeing as how we literally cannot progress this game further without playing through this section, I took the liberty in simply just subbing out Lune for Mael as our temporary solo fighter. So we grab Mael, we head to a flag, buff her in any way we can, because you have to remember, all of our Lumina colors and weapon upgrades all went to Lune, so everyone else is drastically underleveled. I picked the best that I could in terms of her weapons, attributes, and skill tree, and just ran with it. Despite this setback, this section wasn't too bad with an underleveled Mael. We were able to get through the first half pretty well until Verso disappeared. No worries, this is why I chose Mael to be our little substitute. We continue through our path until we come across some manor in the middle of the open, only to realize that this is Renoir's manor, where we see the little girl and a mysterious feminine figure that resembles a lot with the curator. It is here that we learn that Renoir is actually Verso's dad, and we begin our epic battle. The game once again forces a team on us, but since Lune is part of this team, we once again ignore our allies, let them die, and we just go on as Lune. We don't get our usual buffs for the first bit of this fight because some of the buffs that we have involves being solo, so we have to wait for some of our allies to die for that. But once those two die, we got our perks back. This boss fight wasn't anything too crazy. We kicked his ass only for him to pop his ultimate, apparently, and drop a bomb on us. We survived, except for one.
Lurker?
Noko's broken.
Why don't you accept who you are?
Mael tries to attack Renoir in anger, and Verso blocks an incoming attack, and time freezes again. Here, Mael meets with this masked girl again, where they lock eyes, and then the manor just vanishes into who knows where, and that was the end of Old Lumiere. Returning to camp, the group is quite upset that Verso, hid the fact of his father from them, which, fair. And with the manor gone, all hope seems lost. Until a plan B is brought up, where we need to take down 2 Axons to extract their hearts, one to the east and one to the west, to create a weapon to break through the Gomaj barrier that's protecting the Paintress's monolith. So, we level up our gear, talk to the squad, and we venture off. Before we head to one of the Axon Islands, there is one place we must go first, and that place is the Falling Leaves. Nothing too exciting is around here outside of the Chromatic Ballet, which was an annoying fight of itself, but the real reason we're here is to climb up to the top of this cliff and take on the Scavenger. Now, this was a fairly tough fight, especially getting to his second phase, where he gets essentially a free attack every turn with his masks things that, if I don't get the parry timing correctly, will one-shot me. And it has, often in very painful times.
Okay. Ready to evade. Let's keep going. I'm ready. Feeling better.
literally on the last attack. I needed to survive the last attack, and then I was going to kill him, dude. The one time oh my god, dude. The one time that I don't get it is when I was literally going to I'm gonna lose my fucking mind. I'm gonna lose my fucking mind.
But don't worry, literally the very next attempt, we finally killed him. And thus, we got the Scaverin, which, in my opinion, is Lune's strongest weapon. That is, you know, prior to the DLC coming out by the time that I was writing this script, which now it's more so just one of, not the, but one of the strongest. Not only is this weapon one of the strongest in just raw power alone, but its attributes are also crazy good too. You see, whenever we consume stains using skills, there is a 50% chance that we will create a dark stain, in which our skills will do 50% more damage per dark stain we have. And that is crazy good. Now, this power does come with one major drawback. It's time to explain dark stains. You see, dark stains are not like light stains. They cannot be consumed to enhance any of our skills, nor can they be removed to make space for our other stains. Rather, they are permanent, and they are here to stay. The only way to remove dark stains, at least on this specific weapon, is to use a basic attack, in which it will consume a dark stain to give our base attack 200% increased damage, which is nice, but really all of our damage output is coming from our skills. Now, when we get the Scaverin to level 20, we do unlock its last ability, where we can consume 4 dark stains for a massive increase in damage on one skill. But that's the thing. We need all 4 of our slots to be dark stains. So this is a really good weapon that we will use the rest of the run, but it's not without its flaws. Anyways, after all that, we then make our way to the first of the Axon Islands, Siren. Yes, we went to the east one for the challenge, as CL put it, because, once again, Mama did not raise a bitch. We waltz on in, only to immediately get entranced by the Axon's dance moves, and what I can only describe as just straight up Riz. Thankfully, Monoko snaps us out of it because he's not a simp. After that, we continue onward, riding on elevators and fighting enemies with questionably designed faces. Now, most of these enemies are annoying enough as in they are flying enemies, but thankfully, we're so strong that we can literally just gun them down turn 1. We take out another chromatic enemy to get some very useful Pictos like Effective Heal and Greater Shell. Deeper into the dungeon we go, and we fight another Patonk and get a new skill for looting in the form of Fire Rage, which does increasingly more damage every turn, so long as we don't get hit. Which, at the moment, is kind of useless since we're already hitting our 9999 damage cap almost exclusively, so we'll save that skill for later because it is still a fairly good skill. A little more walking and we get to the Tizier, an optional boss fight that can give us an advantage against Siren. So, of course, we fight it. The issue with this guy is that he curses us at the beginning of the fight, in which we will immediately die when that curse number floating above our heads hits 0. So, we have to kill him before then. Thankfully though, we do enough damage on our own that on the last turn of our curse, we were able to take him out. After taking down the Tizir, we continue forth and fight another little mini-boss and killed his ass. We took a side path to find another Patank and a merchant to grab some pretty useful Pictos like Greater Powerful to give us even more damage. After that, we finally make it to the tunnel leading to the Axon, Sirene. We walk up on her and she tries to swoon us by showing us characters of our party's past, which took another hit to my already sore heart. Verso wasn't having it though, and now it's time to fight. This fight wasn't too bad. I only died once because of some horrible timing on my end, but then the very next attempt, we beat her, in which Lune takes a ride up on her hand, and I don't even know what this was. I think Lune actually just popped a fucking nuke on the Axon's face. Like, where is that skill in the skill tree? Anyways, we grab the Axon's heart and bring it back to the Curator, who specifically wants Mael to give it to him for some reason. She does, and we get Renoir jump scared. We go through the usual at camp, leveling up Lune, building relationships, and then we head out for the next Axon, Visages. We arrive at his island of many faces, and as we get there, we see this big ass dude, and then a not so big ass dude telling us that we're invited to take on the Axon. This Mask Keeper, as he calls himself, tells us we're welcome to travel down other paths before we do. And of course, we go down those other paths. We find some more loot, so it's obviously the correct decision to do so. We start off to the Happy Mask path. On this path, we find the Confident Fighter Pictos, which deals more damage, but we can't be healed. Not sure if I'll ever use this, but it's at least in our arsenal now if we want to. We then kill the Happy Mask and move on to the next area, the Sad Mask. Heading down the Sad Mask path, the only notable thing was grabbing the Glass Cannon Pictos, which is very useful, and also fighting the Chromatic Ramasur, who is literally built to be a skill check on your parries. So I first tried him. And we got Augmented Counter 2 for some more counterattack damage. We then move on to kill the Sad Mask, and we move on to the last side area, the Angry Mask. Down the Angry Mask path, we got the Double Burn Pictos, which is also useful for applying burn, and that was pretty much all there was there. We one-shot the Angry Mask and we moved on. After beating up all of the masks, we were now ready to take on the second Axon, the Visages. We walk up on him, and he proceeds to give us a mask that Ciel throws, which immediately aggro him. Bro is the most susceptible to rage bait, and we get to scrapping. Now, I wish I could tell you this fight was hard, but we are so overpowered at this point that one Elemental Genesis did half of its health bar, even after we killed it and got to phase 2 with the real Axon, the Mask Keeper. One Stain-powered Lightning Dance nearly killed him in one hit. Like, it was honestly kind of sad, I'm gonna be real. After beating him, he throws a bunch of masks at us to try to, like, control our minds, but Ciel was able to resist it, as well as Minoko, and Ciel was able to finish the job. damn, that sound design. Girl really hit him with the... Oh, and killing the Mask Keeper gave us the Immaculate Pictos, which is pretty good. Anyways, we bring the second heart to the Curator, and after some more visions from Mael of the woman version of the Curator creates our weapon. To celebrate this victory, we find out that Esquier has a whole wine dispensary in his gut, so the party celebrates while Verso walks off to see the masked girl, who we learned back in Old Lumiere, her name is Alicia. And Renoir joins in and they have a little chat about morality or something, but the next morning we are ready to go and we have everything that we need. With the barrier breaker in hand, we are ready to take on the Paintress. We get to the Gommage barrier and break it open with the barrier breaker to finally make it to the monolith. We look around, look up at the Paintress, ready to put an end to her reign of death, and good God, that is a fucking wallpaper. That's gotta be the best shot of this whole game. That goes so hard. We begin the fight for our attacks to do absolutely fuck all. After a couple of failed attempts, we see Woman Curator, as I'm calling her now, appear and set everyone's heads on fire. After she's done with her tantrum, she opens up a portal where we follow her and we're now inside the monolith. And this is where we learn that the Woman Curator is the real Paintress, where that big woman is like a stand-in, maybe it's her own version of an Axon, who knows. While inside the monolith, we run through all of the different areas that we've gone through throughout our journey so far. The forest, the Gestural Village, the cliffs, all the way to Minoko Station, while also seeing these fragments of what Mael is able to decipher to be the Paintress's memories, until we finally make it to the monolith's version of Lumiere. We fight through some more enemies, including an enemy type called Claire and Obscure. Whoa, Claire Obscure, man, it's the title, holy shit. While fighting these guys, we got a new skill for Lune being Hell, and we make it to this big open area, which is just screaming boss fights. And we cross paths with Renoir once again. And we get a very powerful speech from him. But sadly, family is a little complicated. And thus, we initiate in a boss fight, taking on Renoir one last time. And we are hit with the greatest boss OST that I have ever heard in my entire life. Now, you may think that with Lune's immense power, this would be a pretty easy fight. I mean, with just one empowered lightning dance, we almost phase shifted him. This was, honestly, thankfully, still a pretty difficult fight that took a few attempts, because, you know, this is supposed to be a big climactic fight. I'm actually glad that there's still a bit of challenge to it. Some of Renoir's attacks in his second phase would stun me, making me unable to block or parry, where he would be able to deal enough damage to just kill me in the next turn right then and there. Which, I don't mind. This is supposed to be a challenge, after all. After a couple of attempts and locking the fuck in on my parrying, we were finally able to take him down. But of course, it wouldn't be that easy, as the Paintress is clearly playing favorites here. She regenerates Renoir again, and he hits us with the fucking gravity chamber attack over here. When it all looks lost, the Curator makes a surprise cameo. Renoir says some pretty interesting dialogue to the Curator, where the Curator grabs Mael's hand and they proceed to erase Renoir in the same way that everyone in Lumiere got gommaged. Interesting. After deleting Renoir and the Curator piecing out after, we climb the final length and finally make it to the Paintress. When we get there, we finally see the Paintress, who, through the dialogue that she shares to us, is a bit delusional. She thinks that Mael is her daughter Alicia and wants Verso to go home with her. Verso then says that he's dead, even though he's right here. It's really confusing. She gets mad, and now it's time to truly put an end to the Paintress and save all people of Lumiere in one last fight. Now, like the Renoir fight, despite our strong power in Lune, this fight was honestly rough. Even with my shell and other buffs, the Paintress was still hitting me pretty hard. Thankfully, with my heal on counterattack Lumina, as well as my effective heal, which doubles the amount of healing that I get, it was a good source of sustain for me to stay in the fight for longer. Phase 1 wasn't too bad until we got to Phase 2, where the Paintress calls in her stand to fight us. But with what she has, a giant lady, we have in Esquier! We hop on Esquier and fly into the air to begin Phase 2, and the real fight begins. With another wallpaper. That is a beautiful shot too. Phase 2 was just as rough as Phase 1. She definitely began to hit me harder and had crazier attacks, which some involved literally ripping reality open. What? But as previously mentioned, my healing effects on parries and counterattacks kept me going. That is until Phase 3? 2.5? Whatever it is. She curses us, essentially, giving me a time limit to kill her, and it was a short time frame. Thankfully, for those who didn't know, the Paintress also spawns these little orbs floating above her head, and if you shoot them, they extend your curse timer for another turn. But with more heavy hits from her, I had to pull out my gradient move, Tree of Life, to cure Lune and full heal her. Except not really, I was still cursed. Not that it mattered, because a poorly timed parry spelled the end of me in this attempt. Yeah, sorry that I kind of went through all of that commentary only for me to end up dying. To make up for it, let's just skip to the attempt where I beat her and we move on. After finally defeating the Paintress, the world is saved, the number is gone, her monolith has crumbled, and we return home to Lumiere to fireworks and applause, and we won! Right?
brother. I tire of the conflicts and deceptions that plague our family and theirs. So, I entrust you with this letter. Whether you give it to her is up to you. I'm at peace with what's to come. When the time comes, I hope you will be too. Maya, it's a strange feeling watching you with my brother, laughing and smiling, without the scars or the memories that afflict me. Alicia, as she was meant to be, not this painted version that I am. My family, a facsimile of yours, and this world, a mirror, painted by your mother, the paintress, to stave off her grief. Seeing your expedition through would plunge us all into the abyss. For in ridding the world of the paintress, you'd lose the sole force standing against the one who would erase us, the one who invokes the flowers of the Gamash. An act of love, for he does love her. Your father. On her monolith, she paints a warning for us all, of the few she can save as her power wanes. We all wish for our families to thrive. Your family, however, believes only one can survive. But perhaps you'll find another way. You who have lived amongst us, perhaps you differ from your father and your sister, as I differ from mine. Your mother paints life, whilst your father, death. What will you paint?
Oh shit, Jay. You gotta shoot him.
But why is it red?
Jay, you gotta move!
Nope. We all got gomaged anyways. So, I'm sure for those who haven't played this game before are wondering about what the fuck just happened and what's going on. And as much as I would love to go into deep detail on what happened, this script is already like an hour long on the low end, so I'll just give you guys the clip notes of it. If you guys want me to make a full dedicated video going over the story and lore of this game, I honestly would love to. If this video can get let's say 50 likes, and I'll make a dedicated lore video on E33. Okay, so basically the quick cliff notes of all of this going on. Lumiere, the continent, the monolith, all of it, none of it is real. In the real world, we have the Descendre family, made up of the mother and father, Aline and Renoir, and their 3 children, Clea, Alicia, and Verso. This is a family of painters, but they aren't your everyday Michelangelo though. In this world, painters have the power to literally create worlds with something called chroma inside their canvases. Canvases that they are able to enter themselves into and walk among their own artwork. At some point, Verso died in a house fire trying to save Alicia, which still left her permanently damaged and partially blind and unable to speak. Aline then entered Verso's only canvas that he made to grieve, where she created a painted version of her family built around her memories, which would make most therapists send you to a psych ward hearing something like that. And that's how Verso is here. The Verso that we've been interacting with throughout the game is not actually Verso. It's a painted version of him. But staying in a canvas for too long can supposedly kill you, so Renoir enters the canvas to pull her out, and they clashed. That's how what the game calls the fracture happened. To help Renoir, Clea entered the canvas and made it so that Chroma could not return to Aline, meaning she would gradually become weaker over time. And as she weakens, Renoir erases her oldest creations. So, it was Renoir doing the yearly gommaging, not Aline. The number on her monolith was meant to be a warning. After a while, Alicia enters the canvas to help Renoir, but she was painted over by Aline's immense chroma, and she was literally reborn in this world as one of Aline's creations. That creation being Mael. And when we killed the paintress, we both kicked her out of the canvas and removed the only protection from erasure this world had, and so Renoir gommaged everyone, including Mael. But all that did was kick Mael out of the canvas, because Mael is actually Alicia. So Alicia just hops back into the canvas, and without her mother there to paint over her again, we see her here in the destroyed and erased Lumiere as her true self, Alicia. But she likes being called Mael. You got all that? I hope so. Again, if you want a dedicated lore video, 50 likes. Now then, with all that explaining out of the way, we are now back in the canvas where we meet up with Verso, who didn't get gommaged because he's immortal. We have a little chat before we head down to the town square to see the curator, whose surprise is the real world Renoir. Renoir is still focused on destroying the canvas to lay Verso to rest, whereas Mael doesn't want to, thinking that just hiding the canvas will stop Aline. Renoir knows that's cap, and Mael isn't budging. He begins destroying the canvas again, creating some of his own painted creatures, and after halting Verso's gommage, and I guess seeing the petals of Lune and Ciel, we hop on Esquier and we escape back to the continent. Back at camp, Mael is trying to use her newly remembered Paintress powers to bring back Lune and Ciel, which, after a little bit of some help from Verso, succeeds. And our champion is alive, along with Ciel. Lune is mad pissed at Verso because he knew the truth about everything and never told us, so they feel thoroughly betrayed. After some more deliberating, Mael is able to use her new powers to take the old chroma of the fallen expeditioners scattered across the continent to create some, ghost army to go back to Lumiere and kick Renoir out of the canvas to save our world. In Minoko's words, it's time for the greatest expedition in history. Before actually going to Lumiere for the final fight, I decided to use Esquier's new flying ability and traverse the map for some side content to make Lune even more powerful, as well as to see just how powerful we are now that we have painted power to exceed the 9999 damage cap, and the results are... But at this point, this is just optional side content, so let's just fast forward through this, shall we? Hey everyone, Editor Athlete here. While we are fast forwarding through all this side content, if you are probably one of the few who have actually made it this far in the video, I want to genuinely thank you for sticking around for as long as you have. It really means a lot to me that you hopefully found this video entertaining enough to stay and make it to this point. And that makes me really happy, because entertaining is what I want to achieve with all of this. So thank you so much. I plan on pursuing this more and making more fun videos for people like you to watch and enjoy, but I know that it'll take a while. As a current one-man team who is also working a full-time job at the same time, you could guess that my upload frequency for YouTube is, well, honestly, it barely exists. But if you don't mind the long wait between video uploads, consider hitting that subscribe button as well as the bell icon so that you can get notified on future uploads. And like the video too if you really enjoyed it. Remember that 50 like goal. And if you want to continue supporting me as a content creator as a whole, not just on YouTube, follow me on Twitch. Twitch.tv/thegamingathlete with the 1 instead of the L in athlete. I stream on Wednesdays, Fridays, and Sundays from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Central Time, though that is subsequent to change given my career paths. It's a good time, and I always focus on interacting with those who stop by and watch. You can also follow me on TikTok at The Gaming Athlete. Those are where my short form videos go before I drop them on the YouTube Shorts. But yeah, again, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Now, let's continue on to the finale of this video. After finishing up some more side stuff, it was finally time to put an end to all of this. We hop on SEA and we fly back to Lumiere. Landing back at the docks, we get ready to take on Renoir. Mael uses her Painter's powers and summons her army of ghost expeditioners, and then delivers the hardest line in this game.
Tomorrow comes.
Ooh, chills, dude. The army charges and the final battle begins, and that's another wallpaper. With the expedition fighting by our side, and with Lune's immense power that we have, we still manage to actually steamroll through everything. Like, we are genuinely one-shotting everything. Halfway through the combat, we even see that Renoir is also using the ghost of the 32s that we one-shot. And then we're hit with the greatest guitar solo that I've ever heard out of fucking nowhere.
Let us stain them.
Anyways, we keep blowing everything up, even running into the chromatic Icasier, still not sure if I'm saying that right, which we make quick work of. We continue rolling through enemies and getting some useful Pictos and make it to the garden, the final stretch till we get to Renoir. Our hold on the expeditioners weaken as we push through, killing Renoir's strongest creation, the Creation, and we make it to Renoir. Before we do, this is the final loadout that we will be going into this fight with. First, Elemental Trick to gather our necessary stains. Elemental Genesis for the big damage. Mayhem to break our enemy, as well as to have a useful way of generating Dark Stains to try and achieve that 4 Dark Stains for 300% increased damage on our next skill. And then finally, Crippling Tsunami, Lightning Dance, and Fire Rage are our last 3 skills that we're running into. Let's go. As we approach Renoir, Mael tries again to not have him destroy the canvas, but he's simply not budging. He wants to protect his family, and as Mael draws her blade, we do a little stage transition, and Renoir transforms into his curator form with a dope brush blade. And that's another wallpaper, and the fight begins. Now, I wish I could tell you that this was a tough and climactic fight to end this challenge. We literally phase shifted Renoir with one empowered lightning dance. And by that, I mean we did it with the first hit. Lightning dance is 7 hits, and with the critical chance abilities equates to actually 14 hits. Yeah, we phase shifted Renoir in the first of those 14 hits. So, yeah. Anyways, as we destroy his ass, he resummons his Axons and they heal him, giving us trouble to take him down. That is until a portal opens and Aline crashes through to continue her fight against Renoir. She uses her own Axon to distract the others, and we begin phase 2, where Renoir summons the Descendre family portrait, enters it, and comes out all glowy and buffed. I'm pretty sure this man just went Super Saiyan. Not that that did anything for him, because once it got back to my turn, we attempt to use Fire Rage on him, but then it immediately gets hit, so it gets interrupted. But then we have our stage to cast an empowered crippling tsunami, which one-shots him with over 1,000,000 damage. Oh my!
A storm has come.
So, yeah, that's the fight. Renoir tries a last-ditch effort before Mael comes in to finish him off. At the end of the fight, Renoir tries to reason with Mael once more, even going as far as to show Aline's condition, and showing how staying in a canvas for too long can be dangerous and even fatal. Mael speaks her truth, and while Renoir knows that he can't trust her, he chooses to believe anyways, and he leaves the canvas. As he does, Verso jumps through a portal that Renoir made and entered this sort of in-between realm of the canvas, where he sees a little boy over a canvas, knowing that that is the last piece of Verso's soul. Verso tries to reason with Mael and stop the painting, and with Mael stopping him, we reach to the true final fight of the game, deciding the fate of the canvas, Mael or Verso. Now, I sat there for a bit and thought about who to side with here. I did this by thinking about Luna, right? She was the one that we've been playing through this entire game with, so I tried to think about, who would Luna side with in this situation? And given Luna's character and personality, I felt that she would have sided with Mael. And so, that's what I did. Heading into this last fight, considering that I've already used Mael a little bit before back in Old Lumiere, she is way more powerful than Verso in this fight. And, after dying once, we take him down. Now, I have never actually experienced this ending before, as I am a Verso ending stan. So we see Mael take control of the canvas, bringing the world back together with Ciel's husband, as well as Gustave and Sophie, bringing all those who were lost. But at the same time, we now have Verso, trapped under ball and chain to forever live his life in the canvas, while Mael lives the rest of her life in the canvas. And with that, guys, gals, and my non-binary pals, that is the end of our Expedition 33 solo challenge. It was a long and amazing journey, and I want to once again thank you all for watching if you've reached the end of the video. This video was super fun to both record and edit, and I'm glad you all found it enjoyable. If you enjoyed the video, consider leaving a like, and if you really liked it and want to see more, consider subscribing and hitting that bell icon so that you can get notified whenever I upload. And make sure that you also follow me on Twitch so that you can see me live and hang out with the chat. And with all that being said, the referee blows their final whistle on this video. Thanks for all watching, and I'll see you all next time here at Gaming FC. Take care, everyone.